Kim.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Minson. Please give it up for our moderator, Minson Kim. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. 안녕하세요. I know that with the Knowledge Forum, there's so much information, so much knowledge that's thrown at you for the last couple of days. And chances are you're going to walk away from this conference with a lot of information, but you might not remember most of it. So I'm going to summarize my entire remarks with two words that you can remember. Two words. You ready for them? Yes? Caring capital. Can you say that with me? Caring capital.
Caring.
Now, my main question for today is how do we make some of our best technologies work to help save older adults, our vulnerable populations? How do we make sure that our government is in a better position to collaborate with some of the most cutting edge technologies out there that's worked on by companies like SK? We need caring capital. A little bit about myself in the background and where we are in this crisis moment. My name is Ron Kim. I have been in office for 10 years in the state legislature. During COVID, I made national and global news by being a whistleblower and calling out the former governor of New York and his administration for some of the deadly policies that led to unnecessary deaths. There was a cover-up. I didn't want to stand for it, and I pushed back. I made sure that we were in a better place to make better policies moving forward. That decision wasn't political. It was a decision about policies. In 1994, the federal government of New York, of America, gave New York State billions and billions of dollars to prepare the state for medical emergency surges in hospitals and nursing homes to make sure that we were in a better position to prepare for the pandemic. The former administration squandered all that money, give billions to an outside agency, a nonprofit, with no accountability, with no oversight, giving jobs to their families, friends, brothers, and sisters who didn't produce anything with that money. Come COVID of March 2020, the governor and the administration gives out this order mandating people of COVID who has COVID into nursing homes who haven't been tested. This was a critical error that sent 9,000 untested COVID members in the state of New York to nursing homes where they didn't have PPE, weren't prepared with nurses, doctors, any of the workers, and ultimately it led to 16,000 people dying in nursing homes in the state of New York. On April 1st of 2020, instead of doing the right thing, they protected industry profits over saving people's lives by giving a near legal immunity, shielding the industry from lawsuits and criminal charges, so to make sure that no one in the industry got hurt. That led to even more deaths. I pushed back, restored those rights, make sure that we repeal the legal immunity, strengthen the rights of patients, consumers, our older adults in these facilities. And that's why I'm here today talking about the crisis and what we need to be doing moving forward to make sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes. So there was a full crisis. And make no mistake, this was a moment where we needed to step up and understand thoroughly what these mistakes were, so we don't repeat the same mistakes moving forward. I seized the spotlight and the national attention for exposing the former governor to focus all my energy and clout to fix our state and country's broken long-term care policies and programs. We issued a 103-page report about how broken our home care and community care the workforce is. In 10 years in the state of New York, $6 billion were lost in stolen wages for home care workers because we have completely outsourced and privatized community care, and there was absolutely no accountability of the sector. I also focused on standing with our nursing homes to strengthen patients' rights for the next year and a half. Because in a system that's flawed, one of the only things we can do is go center solutions around people who are suffering or who are in pain the most, and those are our older adults and our patients in our nursing homes. Now, in order to fix the problem, we also must understand how we got here so we can learn from our mistakes and figure out how to restructure and finance our long-term care systems. I'm also teaching a class at the New School on this very topic that explains how after decades of urban privatization and neoliberal ideals, we have now a government by proxy in places like New York run by shadow contract agencies with zero accountability. This is exactly what has happened to America's home and community care. In America, 1983 was a very critical year. In 1983, we've amended the Social Security Act to include home and community care. But what we did at that time, we didn't guarantee those rights. In other words, those are what we called waiver rights, and it wasn't an entitled right. Meaning, even if you qualify in America under the system to get a home care, community care, you may be on a waiting list and you may not actually get home and community care. During this time period, one state, above all states, fought really hard to keep home and community care as a public service, as a government service, and that state was California. Every other state adopted the contract model. Because there was a deficit and they didn't know how to finance it, they punted the responsibility and contracted public service to third parties without any accountability. In California, the families, labor groups, advocates, nonprofits all built a coalition to make the case that home care should be a guaranteed public service. And that led to each county in 3 years to establish a public authority to help sustain, finance, and pay for home and community care in California. Now, how is this germane to the topic around decentralized technologies like AI, Internet of Things, smart devices, blockchain, and other potential technologies like 3D printing and even digital wallets? It's germane because in Korea, SK has been collaborating directly with county governments. What they're doing right now is they're not taking money outside and subcontracting and outsourcing public service. They're actually creating public jobs and potential public jobs by giving some of the best tools for local counties as public servants to go each home and service the Korean people in South Korea with some of the best tools that can change and transform their homes. So they're doing this, I believe, because they're in a unique position where they put this development under the ESG goals. This is unlike any other company that I've dealt with around the world. This isn't to come in, make a profit, and sell a device. They're doing it to be aligned with ESG goals and to be aligned with United Nations call to make sure that we can confront some of our sustainable crises in the future. So let me continue and just take a glimpse of the booming age tech market. Every day there's a new startup that comes up. Again, so many companies dealing with referrals, payments, medical devices, insurance, to make it more efficient. They're coming up with all sorts of solutions, but ultimately they're trying to be a subcontractor to an outsourced agency. There aren't any companies that are bringing their best technologies and going to local governments and saying, hey, we have these tools, we want to collaborate, and we want to co-create solutions to protect older adults in our homes and our communities. Now, based on my ongoing meetings and discussions with the SK team for the last several months, and I know I know they're ready to step up, but the question remains, at least in America, are our local governments ready to get into the business of home and community care? Are we ready to build what? The two words, what do we say at the beginning? Caring capital. Are we ready to build caring capital? We're launching a potential pilot in New York with SK to see if New York and the rest of our nation is ready. There was a time period in America's history where state building was a key driver for economic success and social stability. We didn't just outsource our responsibility to third parties. We would seize these moments and recruit groups like SK to build, design, and create an entire new way of taking care of our seniors. For social impact bonds to AI technologies, all this is possible only and only if our local governments get back into the business of home and community care. Now, the technology is there to provide every citizen of New York and around the world a self-sovereign ID where we can even airdrop public benefits to one's digital wallet or their QR code right after they ask for help on their AI Nugu device at home. The technology isn't the problem. And as long as corporations like SK takes ESG seriously and dedicate their resources to develop the tools together, we have all the efficient, effective, equitable tools we need. We need public capital for the care sector. We need caring capital. Just like how America once found a way to finance our bridges, our tunnels, our airports, we can find a way to finance long-term care and design an efficient and decentralized payment and social benefit system centered around the needs of our most vulnerable people. I'm here today because I am an optimist and I believe we can get it done together. Thank you all.